Hi there, my name is André Roux. The rand exchange rate is one of the most important prices in our economy for the simple reason that we export a great deal, we import a great deal, and we engage in international financial transactions. Unfortunately, it's also one of the most volatile prices in our economy. There are many ideas, concerns, worries about the exchange rate. Obviously, for some people, a weaker rand is good news. Those on the export side of the economy. Those on the import side, however, not so great news. There are also perhaps many misconceptions about the rand. People will often think back to the so-called good old days and point out the rand was so strong many years ago. And it's only recently that it has weakened. That's not quite true. Here's a very simple graph showing us the value of the rand against the dollar going back to 1960. And as you can see, for quite some time, the rand value was fixed against the dollar. Indeed, we used to have a fixed exchange rate system. That started changing. We freed up the rand, no longer fixed, and as you can see, it weakened quite considerably within a few weeks, within a few months, within a few years. And indeed, when we think about how the value of the rand is determined in a so-called floating exchange rate system, a whole range of factors play a role. But fundamentally, those factors that influence the demand for foreign currency versus those that influence the supply of foreign currency. Put very simply, if the South African demand for, let's say, the dollar exceeds the supply, the dollar becomes more expensive, which means the rand weakens, and vice versa. The question now, of course, is what drives the demand for dollars and the supply of dollars? Again, many factors. These include how competitive our exports are. It includes how much we have to import and how regularly and at what price. It also includes financial inflows or financial outflows. And the latter are probably most responsible for the extreme volatility of the rand over the last decade or two. Because financial inflows or outflows come and go very often according to the perceptions and views of investors, their perceptions and views of how good or how bad it is to invest in this country. As I said a bit earlier, we have a very volatile currency. If we look at the value of the rand against the dollar, just going back to the year 2000, we see that at times it will weaken by as much as 48% within a couple of years. Then 2, 3, 4 years later, it strengthens by 100%, only to then weaken a few years later by 43%, then up by 47%, down by 50-something. It really is volatile, and primarily because of financial inflows. Fundamentally, one expects the rand to weaken, in as much as our inflation rate is higher than that of our trade partners. What really sets the cat amongst the pigeons is this volatility of financial inflows. So for instance, during the course of February 2019, we had unexpected load shedding. Immediately, the perceptions, the ideas, the concerns, the fears of foreign investors was affected, and they arguably either withdraw some investments or stopped investing here. But then the budget came a few weeks ago, not too bad, probably settled the nerves of the markets, and the rand kind of consolidated again. But anything's possible in the days, hours even, days, weeks, months that lie ahead. That is why it is so important that South Africa should raise its own level of savings. In so doing, we'd be less reliant on foreign investment, and therefore it wouldn't really matter if we did or did not receive too much foreign investment. But until such time that we are a capital-hungry nation, a country that needs to finance all kinds of deficits from abroad, we can expect the rand to remain volatile.